Hey, and we're back, and today I'm going to talk about layouts and options. Now, as you might know, we always offer our keyboards in an ANSI layout and an ISO layout, ANSI being for US English and ISO for several European languages, but now we're also going to offer the 80HE in the JIS layout, and the JIS layout is specifically for Japanese language. But offering more layouts also complicates things a little bit more. If you have a keyboard offer of black and white, then you need to offer both the black and the white one in ANSI, ISO, JIS. And that increases the total count of unique products you need to keep in the warehouse. And that's not great if you really want to offer more options to your customer. Now we have this situation where we want to offer more different colors, but we also want to make sure that you can choose the switch type that you want, because we can see there's a development with the switches. There's going to be more and more different type of switches available on the market, and you will have your preference of a switch, or a switch will be recommended for you. And we want to be able to offer those switches to you, or give you the option to just get it off the market and not depend completely on us, or have switches delivered to you that you're not planning to use anyway. And the same can be said for keycaps. Now, you know, from our 60HE, we have the 60HE module, which is targeted at enthusiasts, which gives them the option to use a third-party case, their own switches and keycaps, etc. But it's also a little bit of a complicated product. With the 80HE, we want to do something similar. We want to be able to make sure that you can have different options available, but we don't want to completely make our operation a very complex, stringy thing of all these different variants that we need to keep in stock. Especially not if we're going to do all these different switch options. Can you imagine a black case, a white case, both those two cases available in the L45 and the L60, and then also available in the 3 different layouts? That count of unique variations increases exponentially. So what we're going to do instead, we're going to have 2 types of versions available. One version is a pre-assembled complete keyboard with the most chosen color case, with the most chosen switch type, or our best recommended switch type, and a standard keycap set that we would recommend to use. And that's going to be a completely assembled keyboard for the best price, and that we always try to keep in stock. Now, the other option is going to be a kit, and that means that you can choose your language layout, your case, your switches, and your keycaps. But it will come with 2 disadvantages compared to the fully assembled one. First, we need to ask a small premium because we need to cover all the additional packaging and logistics costs involved with this. And the second part is that you need to assemble the full thing yourself. And that means getting the module into the case, installing the switches and the keycaps. It's very easy to do. We'll have videos out there how to do it, but that will give you the freedom to choose the things that you want, and then you don't need to spend a bunch of money in the aftermarket when it comes to keycaps, when it comes to switches. And you can choose to omit the switches or omit the keycaps and get an aftermarket option. And maybe in the future, when there are other third parties offering a case, you can just get only the layout option. You don't even need to get one of our cases, and then voila, you can build your 80HE. And that was layout and options. Let's get into a bit of a progression update. Lunar New Year is over, and that means we can make more progress with the 80HE. But we're also in this kind of phase where things are coming together, we need to finalize, and it also creates a situation where you're going to become very, very critical on every little part of the 80HE. And there's 2 things that we've been a bit more critical about. One is the screw-in stabilizers. So as you might know, we have screw-in stabilizers completely installed on the 80HE, but actually on the plate, we made it compatible with plate-mounted stabilizers. But we found out also with the 60HE that the opening of the switch plate allowing plate-mounted stabilizers is just too small if you want to start installing third-party screw-in stabilizers or clip-in stabs. Our screw-in stabilizers have no problem, but other brands will or might have a problem. And the only way to solve that is making that hole slightly larger so there's more space for those stabilizers to fit in. But it also means there's no compatibility with plate-mounted stabilizers, or will be compatible, but there will be a lot of rattle, which is also not ideal. So we decided for the 80HE to just scrap the plate-mounted stabilizers completely, increase that hole opening so it just fits any and every third-party screw-in stabilizer and clip-in stabs. The second thing is the LED bar. We've been working on the LED bar for quite a few months, and we were very focused on making the light go up and into the LED bar and spread out equally. But we kind of had a little oversight. Another very important part of the LED bar is that it can light up 10 individual boxes. But it was not just lighting up the 10 individual boxes on its own, it was also kind of bleeding into the next box. And when we tried to modify it a little bit, we still had this issue when you have two different separate colors next to each other, it was influencing the color next to it. And that's stuff that we just don't want to have happening, because we don't want that LED bar to be this one bar that lights up completely and has like a gradient effect all over with animations and everything and blending together with the colors. No, this LED bar needs to be both a bar that can completely light up, but also be able to see individual 10 boxes that can communicate with you. And that's something that we're going to talk about another time in a different update. But the purpose of the LED bar is to communicate with you on different functions and different ways that we've intended. It was just not doing that in the way that we had imagined. So we're making some modifications to the LED bar so it can do both those things very clearly. We'll get into that another time. But that's it for now. See you in the next update. Bye-bye.